The Great Pyramid of Giza, a marvel of the ancient world, stands as a testament to human ingenuity and perseverance. For millennia, its construction has been one of history's most compelling and debated mysteries. How could a civilization with seemingly simple tools erect such a colossal and precise monument? The secrets lie not in magic, but in masterful organization, advanced knowledge of engineering, and an immense, dedicated workforce. The project began with selecting the perfect site on the Giza Plateau, a solid rock foundation west of the Nile. This location was crucial, high enough to avoid the annual floods yet close enough to the river for transport. The first step was to create a perfectly level base, an astonishing feat of precision. The base of the Great Pyramid is level to within just a few centimeters across its entire 13-acre footprint. Next came the alignment, orienting the structure to the cardinal points with incredible accuracy. They likely used celestial observations, tracking stars to find true north. The bulk of the pyramid, its core, was made from millions of limestone blocks. These were quarried directly from the Giza Plateau, a logistical advantage. Each of these core blocks weighed an average of 2.5 tons. For the smooth outer casing, a finer, white limestone was chosen. This brilliant stone was brought from quarries at Tura, or Nile. Even harder granite was required for the most important structural elements. This granite came from Aswan, more than 500 miles to the south. Quarrying these stones was a monumental task in itself. Transporting these massive blocks was the next great challenge. The Nile River served as a natural highway for the long-distance hauling. Recent discoveries suggest an ancient branch of the Nile flowed much closer to the pyramids. This would have allowed boats to deliver materials almost to the construction site's doorstep. For overland transport, blocks were placed on large wooden sleds. A famous tomb painting depicts a colossal statue being moved on one such sled. To make the sleds easier to pull, workers would wet the sand in front of them. This simple trick of fluid dynamics drastically reduced the friction. The workforce itself was not composed of slaves, as once widely believed. Archaeological finds, including workers' villages and cemeteries, have proven this. These were skilled laborers, conscripted for a period and paid for their work. They were organized into crews, with foremen and managers overseeing the project. Their diet was rich in bread, beer, and fish, indicating they were well cared for. The most debated question remains: how were the blocks lifted into place? The Egyptians did not have the pulley or the wheel at this time. The leading theory involves the use of massive construction ramps. However, the exact type of ramp is a subject of intense scholarly argument. A single, long, straight ramp would have needed to be enormous, would have required as much material as the pyramid itself, and no trace of it remains. Another idea is a ramp that spiraled around the outside of the pyramid. This would have made it difficult to maintain the pyramid's precise angles. A more recent and compelling theory suggests an internal ramp. Proposed by architect Jean-Pierre Houdin, this ramp would corkscrew inside the pyramid's core. An external ramp would be used for the lower third, and the internal one for the upper levels. This theory is supported by thermal scans that show anomalies inside the pyramid's structure. Openings at the corners would have allowed workers to pivot the blocks. A recent discovery at a quarry in Hadnub shows Egyptians knew how to manage steep slopes. This ramp system used posts and ropes to haul heavy blocks up inclines of 20% or more. This technology could have been adapted for use on the pyramids. Levering methods were also likely used, especially for smaller adjustments. Greek historian Herodotus mentioned the use of machines made of short timbers. These could have been simple but effective lever-based cranes. As the pyramid rose, the process became more challenging. Getting the final blocks and the capstone to the very top was the ultimate test. Mortar was used not just as an adhesive, but as a lubricant and leveling agent. The core blocks were set in a thick mortar that helped to distribute the load. Once the core structure was complete, the finishing touches began. The entire structure was encased in highly polished, white Tura limestone. This casing would have made the pyramid gleam brilliantly in the desert sun. Final piece was the pyramidion, or capstone. This was often made of granite and sometimes covered in electrum, a gold-silver alloy. It would have shone like a second sun at the pyramid's peak. Sadly, most of the smooth outer casing has been lost to time. An earthquake in 1303 AD loosened many of the casing stones. They were subsequently repurposed to build mosques and fortresses in nearby Cairo. The construction of the Great Pyramid took an estimated 20 to 30 years. It was a project of immense scale, requiring the coordination of tens of thousands of people. The secrets of the pyramids are not about lost technologies or alien intervention. They are secrets of human potential, organization, and an unwavering dedication to a singular vision. The pyramids stand as an enduring symbol of the power and ambition of ancient Egypt. Their construction pushed the boundaries of what was thought possible. Each block tells a story of immense effort and skill. The logistics of feeding and housing the workforce alone were a major undertaking. Scribes and officials meticulously tracked resources and progress. The project was a microcosm of the entire Egyptian state, highly organized and hierarchical. Tool-making was a continuous and vital industry for the project. Worn-out copper tools were collected, melted down, and reforged. The precision of the casing stones was so fine that a knife blade cannot be inserted between them. This required not only skilled cutting, but also careful planning of each block's shape. The internal passages, like the Grand Gallery, are architectural marvels in their own right. The Grand Gallery's purpose is still debated, perhaps as part of a counterweight system. The king's chamber is lined with massive granite beams, some weighing up to 80 tons. Lifting these giant beams into the heart of the pyramid was an incredible challenge. Above the king's chamber lie 5 stress-relieving chambers. These were never meant to be seen and were left with rough quarry marks. Some of this ancient graffiti includes the name of the pharaoh, Khufu Dortai. The entire project was a manifestation of the pharaoh's divine power. It was built to be the eternal resting place for the king, his stairway to the heavens. The pyramid complex also included smaller pyramids for queens, temples, and a causeway. The mortuary temple was where daily offerings would be made to the deceased king. The causeway connected the mortuary temple to the valley temple further down. The valley temple was located on the banks of the ancient harbor. The Great Sphinx, carved from a single limestone outcrop, guards the entire plateau. Its creation is integrated with the quarrying for Khafre's pyramid. The sheer volume of stone moved is difficult to comprehend in modern terms. It represents a level of project management that was unparalleled in the ancient world. Every aspect of the build was planned and executed with purpose. There was no room for error in a structure designed to last for eternity. Construction was a seasonal affair, likely ramping up during the Nile's inundation. This was a time when agricultural work was impossible, freeing up a vast labor pool. The state provided for these seasonal workers, a form of taxation and public works. The sound of construction must have been deafening. The air would have been thick with limestone dust. Safety was a concern, and evidence of medical care for workers has been found. Skeletons of workers show healed fractures, indicating they were valued enough to be treated. The pyramid was not just a tomb. but a resurrection machine. Its shape is thought to represent the primordial mound from which life began. It could also symbolize the petrified rays of the sun. The internal layout was designed to protect the king's body and his treasures. Massive granite portcullises were designed to slide down and block the passages. Despite these measures, the pyramids were all eventually looted in antiquity. The quest for treasure outweighed the fear of the pharaoh's curse. The evolution of pyramid design can be seen from Djoser's step pyramid to the smooth sides of Giza. Early attempts, like the bent pyramid, showed the builders learning and correcting their techniques. Red pyramid was the first successful attempt at a true, smooth-sided pyramid. By the time of Khufu, the Egyptians had perfected the art. The construction was a religious act, a national project, and a statement of power. The knowledge was passed down through generations of architects and builders. No single blueprint has ever been found, so our understanding is pieced together from evidence. The evidence is in the tool marks on the stones, the ramps in the quarries, and the tombs of the builders. The debate will continue, with new technologies offering new clues. Cosmic ray muon scanning has recently revealed a large, previously unknown void. The purpose of this big void is still a complete mystery. Could it be a hidden chamber? Or is it a feature of the construction process? Each discovery brings us closer to understanding, but also raises new questions. The pyramids were built with sweat, intellect, and an unshakable belief system. They were not built by aliens, but by organized, ingenious, and determined human beings. The true secret of the pyramids is the extraordinary capability of people working together. Their legacy is written in stone, a story of ambition that has survived for 4,000. The sheer weight of the structure required a solid bedrock foundation. Any sand or unstable ground was meticulously cleared away. The builders even incorporated a natural rock mound into the core of the Great Pyramid. This saved a significant amount of work and material in the lower levels. Water channels were likely used to check the level of the foundation. Once the water was drained, the trench bottoms provided a level reference. The social structure of the work gangs is known from inscriptions. Gangs had names like the Friends of Khufu or the Drunkards of Menkaure. This suggests a sense of competition and camaraderie among the crews. The final casing stones were polished to a mirror-like finish with fine abrasives. The reflection of the sun would have been almost blinding. Pyramids were not isolated monuments but the center of a vast necropolis. This city of the dead was a bustling, active religious center for centuries. The construction represents the pinnacle of the Old Kingdom's power and resource mobilization. After this era, pyramids became smaller and were constructed with less durable materials. The economic and social cost of such massive projects may have been too great to sustain. Yet for a brief, glorious period, the pyramid builders achieved the seemingly impossible.